Hello everyone. Hope you're doing well. I know you have already testing. While I'm filming this, don't know when you're going to be doing this, either later this week or next week, but we are going to be doing some holiday time crafts. So we're going to be making a window scene. So this is the one I made, and everyone is actually going to get a little candle, an electric candle, so you can make this glow. But you don't have to make it look exactly like mine. You can make it look the way you want. You can make it a scene from outside, like of the snow, even though there's no snow here. You can make it look like your own bedroom. You can make it look like your kitchen or any place you want. But it's a scene looking inside of a window. So what you're going to need for supplies is a paper plate like this, some wax paper. That's some kind of, it's a different feeling paper that you can actually kind of see through. It can let light through it, so you can see like the shadow of my hand back here. You're going to need some, you're going to need a pencil of some kind or a black marker. You're going to need a bunch of markers, whatever colors you want to use. And you're going to need tape. And if you want it to try and get it to stand up like this one, which is not standing up very well, you can also actually just hang this up in a window. But if you want to get it to stand up, you're going to need some popsicle sticks. But let's just do the basics for now. So the first thing we want to do is get out your paper plate, okay? And I'm actually going to very slightly fold it in half, but not like push real hard. Like I don't want to make a big crease down the middle. But what I want to do is take a pair of scissors, and there's like a circle inside. We're going to use that as our guide. I'm just going to get this started like that. So now I have a hole, and I'm going to cut around the edge. Now try to keep the circle part. Don't like rip it to shreds, okay? Because we're going to need that circle to make the bar, like the part of the window frame that makes it look more like a window. Those are those cross hatching, those crossbars. That actually makes it look more like you're looking in a window scene. Although, I don't know, my windows in my house do not have those, but a lot of people do live in a place where there is that kind of cross forms in their windows. It's very big back on the East Coast when I used to live in Massachusetts when I was your age. But now, see, I did not do the best job, but it doesn't have to be perfect. But I'm going to try to smooth it down a little bit. There. Doesn't have to be perfect. All right, so now we have a circle. Now what I'm going to do with this inside is this I am going to fold in half. So you're going to have a half circle. Then I'm going to fold it so we have a quarter circle. Kind of looks like a coffee filter. And I'm going to take my scissors and hope I can cut all the way through this. So I'm going to go over just a little bit. So see how little that is? And I'm going to cut carefully down. And do not cut all the way down. You have to stop before you get to the end. If you did cut all the way down, you can fix it with tape. Tape fixes many things. I'm going to cut there and see I left some. And then I'm going to do the same thing in this direction. I'm going to start pretty close to the edge, and then I'm going to cut. Then don't go all the way down. Ah! And then I'm going to try and get the two to meet. When in doubt, pull. No, I don't want to tear it. There we go. So now I'm going to end up with 4 pieces. That's just discarded. And I'm going to unfold this. And what do you know? We have an X. Okay? Or a cross. Or whatever you want to call it. Anyway, if you want, you can clean that up a little. Mine is kind of messy, but not the big thing. And so this is what we're going to tape back into place to make our window. So I lay this down, maybe not top of the wax paper, but my desk is very small, so I only have so much room. I take some tape, okay, and then just tape the very edge back into the plate, like that. Let me do it better so you can actually see what I'm doing. It'd be good if you could see what I'm doing. So, doing that up just the very edge. Hope that didn't tape onto the paper below. And then the same on this side. And then the last part. There we go. And then voila, we have our window. Hello. Okay, and now we're going to draw what do we see through our window. So set that aside. And you've got a pretty big piece of paper here. It's a lot bigger than our window. We only need to fill this hole. So I'm actually going to cut a smaller piece out of this, because otherwise it's going to be really hard to get in. So again, I'm going to fold this down. Don't crease it real hard, because we don't want that crease to stay too much. And then just sort of get an idea of how big do we want this. We don't want it much bigger than that. So I'm going to say, all right, that would fill up the plate. And I'm going to cut a piece out like that. And now we have a circle. Now, so whatever it is, you want to make that wax paper smaller, but not too small, because we don't want it so small that it doesn't fill in the hole that we made. But if there is a problem, there is some extra wax paper. You can ask for a new one. You can tape things together. It doesn't have to be perfect. But I'm going to decide, what do I want to draw? So in this one, I drew a fireplace and a Christmas tree, sort of an inside scene. You can draw whatever you want. You want to draw superheroes, draw superheroes. It's up to you. But I kind of like doing kind of a holiday family or a winter scene. I'm actually, even though we have these candles, I'm actually going to make it look like an outside scene when I'm doing this. But again, it's totally up to you. So I'm going to draw the horizon. Okay, really light with pencil. And then I'm going to draw a snowman, which is upside down to you guys. Sorry, I'm not good enough to draw upside down. Okay. And let's give him a scarf. And then I'm going to draw another snowman with a hat. Flower on it, and maybe a tree with no leaves because it's winter. And so you can do it any way you want. Okay, so now that we have that on this, and I'm actually going to turn it over. And you should be able to see what you drew through the paper. And so I'm actually going to color around it. You can color on the same side if you find that easier. Either way is totally fine, whatever you find easier. So I'm actually filling in the sky. You know what? I used the wrong side. Ah! I forgot to tell you. So this side with markers can actually be a little bit harder to draw on, but you can actually move the marker around and sort of dry it off a little, and it lets you sort of smudge it like paint. So it might be a little bit messier to begin with, but it actually looks pretty cool in the long run. So maybe my mistake is a good thing. So basically I'm just going to fill in the sky. And since this is so kind of more like paint, it's actually quite forgiving this way. Haha. Once in a while you make a mistake and it's a good thing. So I'm painting around some, and this can be, you can do the same thing if this is like the wall of the house that you're drawing the scene of, or if you're outside, or if you want to draw a rainbow, whatever you want, because it's actually going to be sort of rainy this week. You might see a rainbow. Rainbows are actually more common in California in the winter. I even once saw a rainbow on New Year's Day. That was cool. So I'm going to fill all this in. It doesn't have to take up my whole piece of paper, because remember, this paper is bigger than the hole in our... Whoa! So again, you take this opportunity to draw what you want. Okay, and then I'm going to take a dark, like a gray pencil, and I'm just gonna show off my, but I'm gonna make her the hat green. And again, you can definitely draw inside the pencil marks that you drew in the beginning. This is just a different way of doing it when it's on the back side, like, but it doesn't make that huge a difference. And then I think I'm gonna make the scarf red. I'll have a really big red marker. And then I don't have to draw in the ground because it's snowy, haha. So we're gonna have those coal button eyes like the Frosty the Snowman song, and a carrot nose. And then I'm going to use, oh, I have a brown marker. I only have this giant brown marker. Oh my. Giant brown marker is going to be our tree. So you can make the tree any way you want. You don't have to do exactly what I'm doing. This is your art project, so it's how you want to do it. So somewhere where it's snowy, this is what it might look outside your window. And so then we're going to take our window and place it over our scene. Try to make sure that it kind of lines up where the horizon is. Okay. And then it's still a little too big, so I actually need to cut it down a little. I'm going to cut down the bottom just a little bit. So it's easier to tape into our plate. And then get your tape. Tape is my friend. And tape it in loosely. And there you go. There's your winter scene. And I kind of cut off the heads of the snowman, but that's okay. You can kind of see it if you tip it one way or the other. And if you use a candle behind it, you can see it kind of is glowed. It glows kind of like stained glass. That's the cool thing with the wax paper. So I look forward to seeing what you guys draw for your window scenes. So these are my 2 window scenes. Now I made this little platform to try and get this to stand up, basically using popsicle sticks and tape. But you know what? It doesn't work real well. So if you want to try and do that, I just sort of tape them together like a little wooden raft and had two stand up, and I stuck the plate between these two and taped it all together, and it's, well, see, it doesn't stand real well. If you guys have any ideas how to get them to stand up on their own, let me know. I want to hear of it. But I couldn't think of a good one that used easy materials. So, but you can put this, prop it up on a bookshelf or in your room. And you can tape it on a window. And you can have this everyone's going to get one of these little candles. You can have that behind your little scene. So make it work. That's a good motto. Have fun, guys. Bye-bye.